Kumar Mangalam Birla has resigned from his post.
Stock continues to tank. Are we headed towards a duopoly? What about the banking sector, the lenders that have a large exposure of over 20,000 crores?
On August 4th, 2021, Kumar Mangalam Birla resigned as a non-executive director and chairman of Vodafone Idea. This is a big blow for the already struggling organization. As per the report by CNBC TV 18, Birla resigned primarily for two reasons. One, to protect his personal reputation. Two, to stop the bad reputation of VI from spreading to other companies headed by him. Vodafone Idea is the third largest telecom company in India with 27 crore subscribers, and it is the world's 10th largest telecom company in terms of subscribers. VI had everything it needed to succeed in the telecom industry. World-class technical expertise from Vodafone and the experience of Idea, which is operating in Indian market for more than 2 decades. But what went wrong? Why a company that once ruled Indian telecom market is now on the brink of bankruptcy? To understand, we have to go back to 2016 when Reliance Jio entered into telecom industry. Jio entered the market with 4G technology, and it was the first player to bring in voice over LTE technology, something that uses internet connectivity to enhance voice calling. On top of that, plans were very much affordable, and Jio literally made the voice calling free. And that made all the difference. Airtel and Idea's existing customers started shifting to Jio. Many small players were not able to compete and left the market. Before the launch of Jio, there were 9 private telecom operators plus 2 government players, which has now reduced to 3 private telecom operators plus 2 government players. To withstand the onslaught of cheap data rates and free calls introduced by Jio, Vodafone India and Idea Cellular merged into one single entity. When that was not enough, the promoters of the merged entity also infused funds. This is quite surprising because Vodafone Idea was serving 2G and 4G customers, and it controls 27% of the market, while Reliance Jio has managed to capture 33% of the market and became the market leader only through 4G users. The Vodafone Idea merger was completed in August 2018, and the new company was branded as VI. But the new transformation didn't help. Since then, the telecom operator has been bleeding customers. In the last 3 years, VI lost more than 16 crore active subscribers, from about 43 crore subscribers to 27 crore. Increasing the tariff charge on different plans was a solution for growth, but even that failed only for Vodafone Idea. The company could not report a sustainable growth in revenues despite a 30% hike in its tariff plans because the customers were leaving and the hike was just not helping. While this was going on, came the unfavorable Supreme Court judgment on 2-decade-long dispute on spectrum fee, and that made the matters worse. But what was that judgment? Before getting into that, we have to understand two terms: spectrum fee and annual gross revenue, or AGR. Our smartphones need signals to connect calls or to use internet. These signals are carried on airwaves, which must be sent at a particular frequency to avoid any kind of interference. The Indian government owns all the publicly available assets within the geographical boundaries of our country, which also includes airwaves, also called as spectrum. So, to get access to this spectrum, the telecom companies need to pay an initial licensing fee and additional charges for using the spectrum. This licensing period can go up to 20 years. So, after the liberalization in 1991, telecom sector was opened for private players, and government allocated spectrum to companies in return for licensing and spectrum fee. But in 1999, telecom companies raised concerns over spectrum charges. Licensing fee was very high, and telecom companies were not able to pay all the licensing charges at once. So, the government provided them with an option to migrate to a revenue sharing fee model. Instead of paying one-time licensing fee, which was proving burdensome, the companies can pay a certain percentage of their annual gross revenues every year as licensing fee. You can think of it like paying spectrum charges in installments. So, the telecom operators are liable to pay around 4% and 8% of the annual gross revenue as spectrum usage charges and the licensing fee. For example, if annual gross revenue of VI is 1000 crores, then 80 crores should be paid as licensing fee and 40 crores should be paid as spectrum usage charge. But what should be part of your AGR? Should it be the only revenue generated from telecom business, or should it also include other incomes? That's where the dispute started. Operators thought that only receipts from the core telecom services should be included. But the Department of Telecom had something else in mind. The Department of Telecom wanted them to include all other incomes even if they have nothing to do with the telecom business like rent, dividend and interest. If they include all these expenses, obviously their spectrum charges are going to go up. Telecom companies refused and went to Supreme Court. And this case went on for 20 years. In the end, telecom companies lost the case and were liable to pay pending spectrum charges as per the government calculation, and VI is liable to pay 58,254 crores, highest of all the telecom operators. Supreme Court gave 10-year time to pay back AGR dues, and so far VI paid 7,850 crores. As of March 31st, 2021, the total debt of Vodafone Idea stood at 1,80,000 crores, which is not a small amount. What makes VI's case unique is that 81% of this debt is owed to Indian government, and of the remaining 19%, the telecom operator owes a large chunk to SBI, Yes Bank and IDFC First Bank. Now, according to the data compiled by Capital Mind, over the next 10 months, liabilities worth 32,000 crore are due. Half of it is due to the Government of India, while the remaining is due to banks and bondholders. So, this is the situation of Vodafone Idea. They are losing subscribers, making losses and have huge debt on their balance sheet which they may not be able to pay back. So, what VI is doing to save itself? Company filed a petition in Supreme Court for recalculation of AGR dues, but the Supreme Court rejected that plea. Company also tried to raise 25,000 crores from investors but failed. Investors are not willing to invest in a company in the absence of clarity around AGR liability. Kumar Mangalam Birla even written a letter to the Government of India where he pleaded for the government support. He said he is ready to hand over his share of 27.6% in VI to any company that government seems fit. He also mentioned that without immediate active support from the government by July, the financial situation of VIL will come to an irretrievable point of collapse, and we are already in August. So the most important question to be asked is, finding an investor for VI is extremely difficult. Investors are simply not interested. We can rule out the possibility of some other company acquiring VI. Even the Reliance and Airtel are not interested. But government can save VI, and the government only can save VI. Only possible option is to convert the government's debt into equity. We already know that the majority of VI's debt comes from government, and the lending from banks is around 23,000 crore. So, this debt can be converted into shares and the government can become the owner of the company. Government can also go for the merger of VI and BSNL, which is the government-owned telecom company. Government can bring together these two underperforming companies and restructure them to be the third telecom player in the market after Jio and Airtel. If this option also fails, no one can save VI. The company directly employs 10,000 plus people and indirectly many more. And if the company has to close today, it will lead to mass unemployment. The future is uncertain. What will happen to all the existing customers of VI? If they are going to shift to Jio or Airtel, are these companies well equipped to handle the sudden influx of customers? If government chooses to merge BSNL and VI, will the newly formed entity will still be effective given their track record? All these are the questions only time can answer. What is your view on Vodafone Idea? Let me know in the comments below.